Let me now bring on board Ramdev Agrawal, Joint Managing Director of Motilal Oswal Financials. Morning, Ramdev. A month ago when we interacted with you on the same forum, you were sitting on the same chair, but you were not part of the bull camp. Markets have made a comeback after that.
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
No,
You're not convinced?
Yeah, see, it was looking that market will not go down because earnings were very strong. I think in that conversation also we talked about very strong earnings of 25-27%. So, and there were a lot of clamor for market collapsing and all. So, I was very clear that in this kind of earnings growth environment, and oil had already cracked. We talked about gas and oil parity and all. I didn't know that oil is going to collapse so fast. Like that time it must have been about 107, 108 kind of thing.
It's 90 now. 94
now it's 92, 93 and all. So I think there is a dramatic change in the energy scene all over the world. And somehow newspapers are not talking about it as much as they should be talking about it. They're busy with other macros and all, but, I don't read enough about changing. Coal prices have crashed by 30%. Oil prices down by whatever, every day it is falling very rapidly. I think between yesterday and today, $4-5
But that's getting nullified because of dollar. So yes, oil prices are down, but the rupee has also gone down. So net, we are jumping in the same place.
No, see the rupee thing is, again, it's a kind of a closed loop. Rupee is weak because oil was very high. Now oil is low, will rupee become stronger? But when does it feed in and how much export is impacted because of global slowdown? They're all very complex, and maybe in next 4-5 weeks or 6 weeks, we'll start seeing a little more strength in rupee because your oil import bill should logically come down. And I hope, if oil price comes down to $80-85 or some sensible level, I said already reached some sensible levels, government seizes this opportunity and does wholesale reform in the oil and gas, which has been pending for such a long time. Sometimes they free diesel, sometimes they free petrol, and I think the whole lot of mess. I think this is a time they can probably make use of this low oil price and then just leave it onto the markets to determine. So that 2%, 3% fiscal deficit coming only out of petroleum products. And all these companies, HPVP, IOC, ONGC, all of them are suffering in the hands of government policy. So it could be a terrific opportunity for the government. But since this government has very bad track record of delivering anything on any opportunity, this will also...
But market insiders are telling me even though oil prices have corrected, you are selling IFC.
I was selling?
You were selling your exposure to IFC.
Yeah, that was 2-3 months back. We got out of it because we got fed up.
You sold all IFC shares?
Yeah, we had 5%. We just got out of that. Yeah.
Okay. Ramdev, you track autos with a magnifying glass. Now, for auto sector per se, there are problems of plenty. First, the base effect has kicked in. B, the monsoon progress has been okay. C, competition has intensified.
Yeah, so you have to look at every segment how the opportunity is. Like if you look at two-wheeler, which is very mass segment, first 2 months have grown at about 12%, which is not bad. 12% on a base of 16 million. And this base effect thing is all, I don't think we are anywhere to hit the base effect right now. 16 million bikes in a population of 1.2 billion is nothing. We have long way to go. Some 7-8 two-wheeler plants are coming up. So you are going to see much larger base very quickly. So 12% growth is good. I don't think that's a bad sign. Still momentum is there. Cars, of course, it's a complete mess because customers want diesel engine and what is available is petrol capacity. So the market leader Maruti has this problem of mix management, and so that is showing up. But still, I think growth is about 2-3% despite non-availability of desired cars off the shelf. But clearly the momentum has been lost and demand is slowing down, which is supposed to be happening at the peak of red cycle and this kind of slowing down of the economy. You're supposed to see car demand slowing down. The slowdown is 2-3% growth in India. So let's, it's not some collapse of 20-30% in demand. I think Mahindra is doing well. Telco is broadly okay. At least JLR part is very good. So I think we have not seen breakdown of automotive industry per se.
So, but do you think the heydays of Tata Motors, what we saw last year, is over, or do you think there's still money to be made on this one?
My understanding of Tata Motor, particularly JLR side, is very limited. We have said that. But I think the momentum is pretty strong. And now looking at what Mr. Tata has done, who understands it best, nobody understands better than him, Tata Motors he's bought. So I think we must take some signal from this. And in any case, valuations are very reasonable. So my sense is that there is a lot happening in Tata Motors.
What about cement, Ramdev? Despite or irrespective of what happens on the CCI probe, do you like the fundamentals? What is really driving the move that we've seen in the sector in the last few days?
Two things. One is that volume growth is pretty strong. I mean, 12-13% growth is something much more than meets the eye is happening in the economy or construction segment, whatever, private or public. Second, somehow they have been able to, despite capacity utilization is sub 80%, their profitability has been very, very robust across more particularly the upper part of the country. And whether it is some kind of a cartelization which is alleged right now, or is it just kind of a nice, what I would say, judicious operating environment. But somehow in this, we have not, in the past, what we have not seen is a high profitability in a lower capacity utilization environment. Today we are seeing that below 80% is the capacity utilization. In some cases it is even 65-70%, and there is a scarcity kind of thing. I mean, they manage the entire supply chain so well. It's a seller's market. They have, despite this kind of capacity utilization, they have created seller's market. So I don't know. This is a very unique situation in India. First time it has happened. So that's the strength which is playing out in the.
The stocks are telling the story. Most of the cement stocks are 40 to 50%. So last time when you were here, I reminded you of your pain. Let me remind you of your gain. McLeod Russell. You bought it at 220, it's at 300. When will you sell it?
No, still I think the tea price is yet to go to 300 rupees. It is still at 175, 180, 200. I think worst of tea cycle, best of tea cycle for stock market guys and worst for the consumer we'll see in the second half of the year when the peak production season is over. Because when gardens are producing, you still have enough supply in the pipeline. Once the season comes to an end, sometime in October, November, December, then after that 3-4 months when it's lull, there's no new production and production is a little short of consumption, then you see the price really rocketing. Every
time I've asked you on a price target, you've said, look, I track earnings, I don't track the price.
Yeah.
So what are your earning estimates for McLeod Russell for FY13?
It's tough. See, they earn about 285 crores, 285 crores last year. I think minimum they should make is closer to 400 to 450 crores. Going by the current change in the tea prices.
What is the deserving P multiple for McLeod Russell? 8 times, 9 times?
No, I don't think it's a P multiple stock. You have to buy down replacement cost to the gardens.
What is the replacement cost?
Replacement cost should be about 4,000 crores.
Which means the stock would go to 400. That's your assessment. That's not my assessment.
Yeah, that should be the kind of when it reaches by chance. Then we'll review what's how's the scene.
Ramdev, what about banks? Do you think the NPA overhang is here to stay, or do you think it's time to buy, considering interest rates from now on are going to head downwards?
So there are two different. You're saying that NPA overhangs. Yeah, I think that will continue because there is still stress in the economy. Probably we have seen the peak of it, but with this kind of interest rate, lower growth rates, rupee heading absolutely, kind of nowhere. Still, we are seeing newer lows every day. I think the stress is pretty high on the corporate balance sheet. Particularly the ones which are weak, which are leveraged, where they have government-facing clients, or somehow there is a slowdown. So, so there is a problem in the corporate side, some of these corporates. But all this pessimism is already built into the current valuation of stocks. And that allows us to say that we have seen the worst, or we are passing through the worst. And after seeing the Q4 result of SBI, my sense is that this is the time to keep accumulating the stock.
So what's a good price to buy? Anything sub 2,000, go and buy State Bank of India? Or even at current levels, SBI?
Any kind of recommendation is good only at the current price. Okay. There is no point in trying to figure out at 1,500. It's a terrific buy. If it is price is 2,000, if I say 1,500, bet the house. So doesn't mean anything.
You just mentioned that you've sold your 5% holding in IFC.
Yeah.
You've reduced your exposure to Bharti.
Pardon? Yeah.
So what are you buying?
No, I think we talked. No, that time we bought ITC.
After that, any new ideas?
No, I don't think we have changed.
It's anniversary.
No, yeah. Yeah, but people should not get hurt. Central Bank of India, people bought it because of this. So it's not right to specifically go about particularly the smaller companies, because in smaller companies people get stuck. ITC and all is very kind of alt.
So let me ask you a question which, based on your style of investment. Mm-hmm. Someone walks up to you, he says, I'm ready to take a 10 to 15% downside, but give me 3 large cap ideas and 1 mid cap idea where you see a 50% appreciation in next 3 years.
50% in 3 years is literally...
Okay, I'll raise the bar. 100%
yeah, index itself will give you. I'm
Okay,
telling you,
100%.
index itself will give you. Pardon?
100% appreciation. Let me raise the bar.
Yeah, raise the
Since
bar.
you're
Yeah.
confident.
As I said, I think SBI is a terrific bet.
Okay.
In 3 years, in 3-4 years, if it doesn't double, then there is something fundamentally wrong in my understanding of banking and particularly SBI. You know, and or something very bad will happen to the Indian economy. Cannot happen. I mean, we are saying that 20,000 crores profit in the current year consolidated. You get the stock at 130,000-140,000 crores. And the money supply itself is growing 15%. And they've done all the provision for last 100 years, whatever mess up they had. So I think we're going to have a nice 2-3 years before they hit on to a new set of problems. So
I asked you for 4, you've given me 1, 3 more.
No, it's not. I mean, see, you have to buy stocks on which you are comfortable. My saying ITC is good or SBI is good, it is not going to help the viewers, because at the end of it they have to manage their portfolios. And so I would think that they should buy into portfolios managed by professionals or mutual funds. They're brilliant mutual fund guys. And then if they're smart in picking their own stock, then they don't need my advice.
But if I insist on your advice, if I want to know where do you think value is, and both Aisha and me are curious to understand where do you think there is value in this market?
Yeah. See, but as I said, you have to really go about looking at the stocks, like say Myco.
Okay.
Again,
that's a new idea. Bosch.
Yeah. So no, it's not a new idea for us. I mean, for 10 years we are bought into this.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a terrific idea. It's an automotive. It's an automotive ancillary monopoly. I mean, there's so much of pricing power. Without them, I mean, I'm sure Telco and Ashok Leyland guys, first they must be getting away and figuring out stuff whether their plant is working or not. That's not important. Whether Myco is working or not. So and it's a global monopoly. So I think it's illiquid. It's not part of the.
It's 9,000.
Yeah, it's a liquidity issues. Around 8,000. But for last 10 years it has been delivering 24-25% without any hassle.
Just 16.5% uptick coming in on Bosch incidentally. Let's just bring up the price chart for Bosch, because that is a buy recommendation coming in from Ramdev. 89.49 is where the stock is, and it's a 16.5% appreciation just in the last 3 months or so.
What is 1 year appreciation?
Okay, the 1 year chart as well will just come up for you. There you go, just a 31% appreciation coming in. 89.
And do it for 10 years. You'll realize that it is 24-25% compounded without, through the Lehman crisis, through the whatever crisis you have. So, this is the kind of, see, the time has changed. And see, we want to relive 2003 to 2008. You're not going to get that. You'll have even more exciting time, but it will be, theme will be different. And we don't know what will be the theme. Whether it will be a,
What's your guess?
I think it will be led by this consumerism. Like I mean, if you look at US markets which set the trend, it is about the Facebook, it is about the iPhone, it is about the Apple. So there's a lot happening in the consumer space, and we have to find our consumer proxies to that. So because somewhere government is in bad shape, not only in Europe and America and in India, everywhere government is very weak. So anything to do with the government, you have to do with the businesses will be saved by the consumers.
So don't buy companies which are dependent on government spending. So no capital goods, no names like L&T, no engineering companies.
I'm not saying that. You are saying that.
No, I'm just interpreting the conversation.
Yeah, no. I'm saying that. See, you have to, but at the end of it, like L&T and all, we love.
Okay.
So there is only one L&T. Probably the country needs 10 L&Ts, but there's only one L&T. So to that extent, L&T is kind of a safe or a good bet, so to say. But generally, I would avoid very heavily government-facing kind of business.
Give us an example.
You say like I just said, like IOC.
Okay.
I mean, even if you have to be part of the subsidy, you should be subsidy giver rather than taker.
Yeah.
I mean, we stayed there. I mean, we had such mess. So now with the oil prices literally collapsing in 1 month by almost 25-27%, will the government seize opportunity and get out of this? And I mean, will it allow actually to oil and gas to be freed?
Is there merit in revisiting Reliance? No one likes it, no one knows it, everyone knows the problem, whether it's E&P or petrochemical, but at the end of the day, they have an operating asset. They have a lot of cash on the balance sheet, and things will only improve for them.
And they have shown determination to buy back stocks also.
So will Reliance be the third stock? We've discussed two, Bosch and SBI. Will Reliance be the third one?
No, I don't understand Reliance enough to say as confidently as I said, because I don't have in my portfolio Reliance. So I would hesitate to say put in that list. But clearly it looks that at around 700, it looks a very very exciting thing. How this change in the oil price, global oil price and gas price decline and petchem changes, I mean this global energy dynamics changing, how it is going to impact Reliance, that I'm not too clear about. But in last 10 years, if you see, Reliance has been one of the largest gainer in terms of their net worth, in terms of market cap, and it has been fantastic despite the split in between. So
okay, Ramdev, I think you wanted the 10-year change for Bosch. 10 years ago, Bosch was at 119. Okay, it has managed to grow at a compounded rate of 25%.
Yeah,
which is incredible.
Incredible. And with very little volatility and all. I mean, you didn't have to bother about what is the quarterly call and whether there is a 2 bips up or down and those kind of things. So, for me, I mean, see, index will do about 15-17%, even from the current level. Every decade, it goes by four times, roughly. So, it's about 15-16% depending on the, kind of environment. So, 2010 to 2020 looks that it could be, it should be 4 times. There's no reason why it not be 4 times. That's the hope in which we live.
Okay, I got an email from a viewer. Like I've said, every time you come on show, we get emails, we get messages.
Yeah.
And the question is, I think I also want to know the answer.
Yeah.
Bosch and Hero Honda have managed to grow. But which is the next Bosch and which is the next Hero Honda according to Mr. Ramdev Agrawal?
Bosch is going to be Bosch.
Okay. I like that. I love your confidence.
Yeah. See this, why Bosch is Bosch? Because it's a global monopoly. You're not going to create another global monopoly in just next 10 years or today. So if you want to invest in global monopoly, you have to buy Bosch. This is the biggest problem with the investing. People think.
So why hunt for something new when good companies are already there?
Yeah. Somebody told me, आदमी बुढ़ा हो जाता है, धंधा बुढ़ा नहीं होता. So the businesses go on.
I've never heard this one before.
Yeah, I also heard it very recently. No, I was in one of the seminars. I heard some of these. See, the point is that Aditya Puri may be, retiring in 3-4 years, 5 years. Okay, Mr. Parekh may retire in a few years from HDFC. But these are the institutions which are 15, 20 years, 25 years old. And all the banks in the world, they are more than 100 years old. So there is a lot of prosperous times ahead for these institutions.
But you've talked about SBI, Ramdev. What about some of the private banking names? Anything that you like there?
No, I mean, see, they're all good in the sense that you have to be watching them very closely. And since you have limited time and limited energy to go through each and every. So if you like the best and that is delivering a 25%, why bother about anything else? It doesn't mean that Axis or ICICI or IndusInd Bank or, I mean, we have 30-35 stocks in the coverage. So
do you think Tata Steel at these levels could be a good deep value contra call? I mean, the book value for Tata Steel is about 410.
Yeah.
It is at 424. I know you track this one with a magnifying glass.
No, it is very fair price. I mean, price to book 1, including goodwill. So I think 410 is a very, very fair price for the stock. Because one of the things is that we don't understand what's happening in chorus allocation, which is running $13-14 billion. So we really don't know what's happening there. So if anybody has good fix over that, he will have advantage in buying or selling their stock.
What's on your radar? What are the businesses, companies which are on your radar, where you are, whether you've made up your mind or you're about to make up your mind?
No, there is nothing very, what I would say. See, I'm watching this oil thing. It's moving so rapidly, and what it will do to a lot of things will change. I mean, see, one thing is we don't know why it is coming down. I mean, $30 crash. It's literally a crash. Is it? Somebody tells me that it's a geopolitical, Saudi Arabia and Iran and US and those kind of things. I started thinking it was more because of the gas. Unlimited gas has been found in US, so the gas is pulling down WTI and WTI is pulling down Brent. Or it could be just the combination, because the consumption is still at a full 90 million barrels a day, and production is they're pumping big time. So what is it which is pulling it down? And this changes a lot of things. Coal prices are down. Oil prices are down, rupee is at all-time low. We're just not able to make sense of, where exactly the stable environment is, and where exactly, and how far it is away. So it's just, you're trying to figure out what to do next, because these are big trends.
So Ramdev, what is the next big trigger that the market is going to watch out for? RBI is done with. We've seen the trend in GDP, IIP, what have you. US Fed meet is over now. Greece elections are done with. What's the next trigger for the market?
My sense is, I think it is going to come from monetary side, in the sense that I still think that interest rate decline will be pretty sharp going forward. Maybe this oil price collapse will lead to lower inflation at some point of time, maybe 4 weeks away or 6 weeks away, but it will start feeding into somewhere in the whole thing. And then, this entire inflation which is food related, why don't they have MSP for tomato and whatever is in short supply? They have MSP for wheat, rice. Why don't you have, you say that from farmers, I'll buy at 15 rupees a kg. Why it fluctuates between 5 and 50? Or for onion or whatever. I mean, whatever is in short supply, these farmers are very dynamic. You give them MSP and they will produce as much you want. And it will be just in it's a 90 days crop. You announce the MSP now, in 6 months you'll see the response coming in. So I think we need some dynamic management of the situation. It's not that bad in the sense that you have excess food grains, you have and still you have the highest, very high inflation which you are not able to kill. So you need a little more imaginative, thought process to manage the inflation.
Ramdev, one more important development which is going to take place in the near term, a new finance minister and a new president. How important or unimportant is it going to be for the market?
I mean, whosoever was there, it didn't make a difference. So how does it matter who comes, I mean, one is always hopeful, one is always optimistic about, but Delhi has disappointed big time. So I think market is pricing in the disappointment. And if anything good comes, and some dynamic guy comes, or he wakes up in the morning and says that, boss, today I have to take care of the country. There is a leader who is assertive. I think market will definitely respond.
Final question. I'm going to ask you an easy one now. When do you think Indian markets will touch a new all-time high? And when do you think the new bull market will start? The one which we saw from 2004 to 2007. When do you think that raging bull market will make a comeback?
See, it will come back beyond doubt. It will be much bigger. That much I know. But
2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, see, you don't know. See, things are happening so fast. If oil goes to $50, another $30, what has happened in last 30 days? I think suddenly, and you see the guys who were completely disappointed just 3 months back. Today, the hardcore, lost out guys, they are talking about market going to be stronger.
When oil was at 110, everyone said, let oil go to 80, a new bull market will start.
Yeah.
Now oil is at 80, we wanted 50.
So you can't time the bull market. See, conditions are being created now. Conditions are definitely being created. But when will it happen? Whenever it happens, it will be very big.
Appreciate the time. Glad you could join us. Thank you for your insights.
Thank
so
you.
1, 2, 3, 4, I'm counting. Tata Steel, Bosch.
Tata Steel, I didn't take one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's McLeod Russell, it is SBI and Bosch.
Whatever you say. Yeah.